Liberia, we know is one of the first women presidents in Africa, and she has been acclamated a lot for that. We even heard she's the, as I say, little shushu of the West. They pet her. So she did a lot of her. She did a lot for her country. And from my findings with other sources or people in Liberia, they say when it comes to the institutions out there, she worked a lot in building the institutions out there, and also worked a lot in clearing off the national debts of the country. But apart from that, elsewhere, she had a lot of lackings, and that's why when it was time for George Weah to come in, she had to throw her weight behind him, because with her former vice president, Mr. Boake, a lot of things were brought up, and we know that there are always these treaties that are signed in the background that we never know, and what is shown to us in front, there are other things that are agreed behind. People could not understand why she was throwing her weight behind George Weah, because her former vice president, she had worked with him, and so people will expect that she will continue with him, but no, she had another reason. And when I spoke to some of the sources, they were saying there were actually agreements that were made behind, like, I'm not going to pursue you if you support me to be the president, so all your ills will be wiped off, and this and that. And today, he has had his term, and when such things happen, you know definitely you might never have a good governance system, because the way you came in was not even the right way, and you might not correct all the rights which were expected from you.
Are you giving me the speech?
Yes, definitely, Sheikh.
Well, you understand what I think about all this show.
To you, it's a show.
Yeah, no. Let us,
I know.
Because we have idealized this so-called democracy as if it's some kind of ideal form of government, and that you have some countries which are actually setting the example. I remember recently somebody questioned Louis Farrakhan, criticizing certain things about Nigeria, and Louis Farrakhan asked this person, said, this country is less than a century old as an independent country. Now, what are you accusing Nigeria of? Was Nigeria dropped bombs in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, which has killed hundreds of thousands? Did Nigeria exterminate a whole tribe of people, the Red Indians in America? Did Nigeria create genocide and war crimes in Vietnam and Korea? Did Nigeria carry out millions of slaves taken from Africa by force? Well, you understand what I'm trying to say. The political game is a game which is controlled by a central authority which controls both sides. Let us consider, okay, you have left and right, right? During the days of Bush in America was a left-wing, there's a right-wing party. But in Britain, you had Tony Blair, who was left-wing. Mm-hmm. And Tony Blair and Bush collaborated to bring on the agenda of the global elite, which involved attacking Iraq and also doing havoc in Afghanistan. Then it changed in America. It went from left-wing to right-wing. It became Obama. Britain, in the meantime, became conservative, left-wing. But the international agenda keeps going non-stop. In other words, it doesn't matter which wing is actually active. The same thing turns on happening. So these manipulative games, Africans are pawns until they get to realize that they have the real power. And the real power is not by the official voting system. It is inside their consciousness. Let me explain who the power brokers on the world are. I will explain again so people should understand. The power brokers in the world.
Sheikh, Mr. Sango, we'll be back with you now. We're going to be back with you in a moment. Just allow Sheikh to go through.
You can always come in and bring some corrections on the downtrodden political science mechanisms. Mm-hmm. But let us go. Who are those controlling power on planet Earth? And they've been doing this for the past several 100,000 years. For those who did not know, at the very top, the people who were controlling were not even from this planet. You heard me right. In human history, we have had our DNA manipulated by these cruel people. Our forefathers used to live for more than 1,000 years. That is why you saw in the Bible that Noah had lived for a very long time. Adam lived for a very long time, because our species at the time we used to have that long piece of long life. When these people saw that we are progressing very fast because we possess potentials which are potentially more than them, you find that story in the Bible of the Tower of Babel, where they're supposed to build a certain tower to go up to God. Mm-hmm. No, that is clearly a myth. You can't build a tower and go into space and meet God. But there is something behind that. What actually, if you look at the books of Zachariah Sitchin about ancient Sumeria, this the word used for tower there is sham, and sham is a sky-going craft. So the humans were trying to build sky-going craft to go and meet some of the so-called gods who were coming from space to dominate human beings, and they had to split them up, create new languages, and make them to dumb them down. And that is when they say the days of man will reduce to 120 years. They actually manipulated our DNA so that we could no longer live up to 1,000 years, live 120 years up to today. Now we are lucky today that those bad people from outside the planet are gone. That is why humans are waking up now and everywhere. The next level down are some people called the masters. These masters are a group of people to whom those controlling had given the longevity technology. They also could make themselves to live for very long, longer than the average human being, several thousand years. There are 21 of them. The whole earth is split into each one has its own sector. Under that, you have something called the covens. They are considered by the master like their pets. There are 42 of them. Those ones also control different parts of the world. Under the covens now, you have another group of people. These are the Order of the Black Sun, the Freemasons, the Order of the Black Nobility, and so on and so forth. Those are the ones, together with certain institutions which were created like the World Health Organization, the United Nations, and so on, and the World Economic Forum. Those are those who now decide who is president where. Now, you see at what level the presidents are. So you can see what elections are likely to bring. So what should Africans do? Go away from victim consciousness to self-empowerment. In other words, if we Africans could sit and visualize with conviction what we want our future to be, showing love between ourselves to begin with, then we're going to effect a more serious change than all the rules of elections. Why do you think the Western countries want so much democracy to come? Because that is the only system on us which they can manipulate. When it's not democracy and somebody like Gaddafi is trying to really help the people, no, they stop. When someone else violates democratic rules in order to satisfy their interests, like somebody in West Africa who created a third term by doing a constitutional coup d'etat, no, that is good. So, when are we going to keep playing this game? Let us raise our vibration, improve love among ourselves, and go away from victim consciousness to self-empowerment. When a particular person wins an election and is being applauded by the West, I'm instead worried. I like it to be something like in Burkina Faso, or in Mali, or in Niger,
where they are the citizens that are claiming the president.
And the West is against what is happening there. That is proof that those are actually for the people. When the West is saying, good, well done, that is a bad idea. That it means that their interests have been satisfied. Niger, which succeeded in overturning many things, including some of the draconian laws which were given to Africa under the so-called democracy. What did they tell Africans? They made them to sign a pact for the continuation of colonialism. All minerals found must be shown to France first, only given to anybody else if they don't want. You must use the CFA, which is printed by France. All your foreign reserves, 85% of it must be deposited in the French treasury. And if you want any part of that money after, it is loaned to you at the market interest rates, and you pay back interest on your own money. France must be the only one to equip your army and to train your army. You must speak the French language. Now, where is the independence? But there was voting. People were voting. Definitely. And they were changing presidents. So it is not the voting and this thing which will make Africa to become emancipated. We must emancipate ourselves from victim consciousness to self-empowerment. I don't like people to be stifled.
And definitely loving ourselves, as you
right.
said.
So
Sabo Juba was the way forward. We have like 5 minutes to the end of the program. Let's talk about Liberia and what the way forward is. I said now, what is happening there? People are expecting a lot. The government has changed. People are expecting a lot of things to change from what was happening during his reign. And so what do you think the people should be expecting at this moment?